Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So today's video, I soiled my underwear, and I am so excited to show this to you guys. Look at that. Nothing but the seam and the waistband. For you guys that are unaware of what this actually is, let me explain it to you. So in July, we buried 2 pairs of 100% cotton, all white, fruit of the loom underwear in our yard. One we put along our fence line. The other one we did right in the middle of our no-till garden. Now this one came out of the no-till garden. Now the interesting thing about this, guys, is that when you bury 100% cotton, it is basically a food for the microorganisms in your soil. So if you want to know how well your soil is doing and whether or not you have anything even alive left in it, bury you some white cotton underwear. Now you need to go anywhere from 2 to 8 inches into the ground. They need to go flat, and you need to cover them back up and water it really well. Now here's the thing about watering. If your soil is powdery and dry, your microorganisms have gone dormant. What I mean is they've gone to sleep. They're basically hibernating. They're not working for you anymore because they need to stay moist, okay? So a healthy soil has bacteria, earthworms, fungi, organisms that will eat organic matter that is found in the soil. Now, 1 teaspoon of good microbial activity in the soil is technically, it has more organisms in it than stars in the sky. So we literally walk on top of a jungle every single day of our lives. And we have no idea how this whole intricate system works. But it is so interesting. So let's talk about ways that you can increase the soil microbiology in your soil. And why is that important? Okay, so obviously, let's talk about the first one. You're going to need to keep your soil covered. I get a lot of questions from people because they're like, what can I cover my soil with? My answer is always the same. What do you have that you can cover your soil with? Because I've had people tell me that I am not a back to Eden garden because I didn't put wood chips. I couldn't get wood chips. I don't have a wood chipper. Couldn't get free deposits, couldn't get free wood chips. I mean, where I live, they just don't deliver. But this is that same type of gardening style. Some people call it lasagna. Some people say no dig. Some people say no till. Guys, the way I garden is a little bit of all of that. Because I had to take everything, all those concepts, okay? And I needed to use what I had on hand. I'm a real big, why go out and put a lot of money into something when you're learning it? All right, just do it. Everything that you need, you have in your hands. This is trash hay. That's what is all over this. Now you can see in the area that we gardened heavy during the summer that there is grass breakthrough because that hay biodegraded quickly once I put roots into the soil. So I'm going to grow cover crops and I'm going to put more hay there before spring comes so that the ground is ready for planting. You need to keep your soil covered. My 80-year-old dad does raised bed gardening. What he does is he plants his transplants into the soil, whether it is a fruit tree or a perennial or an annual, doesn't matter. He plants it. Now let me tell you how smart he is. He cuts a line into the cardboard, opens it up, and puts it around the base of the tree, covering the root system. Then he covers that with a straw mulch and leaves, and he waters it really well. So the plant is in the soil, but around the base of the plant is just a piece of cardboard. And over that, he puts all of his mulch and stuff in his raised beds. It keeps grass and other things from growing up around the base of the plant, so he doesn't ever have to pull weeds. And second, as it breaks down, it brings microbial activity back to his raised beds. Guys, you can think through the issues that you're facing. I say this all the time. Our nation was once a producing nation. In the last 60 years, we have become a consuming nation. And in the process of going from producers to consumers, we forgot how to think through problems. So I hope that these little suggestions that I make help you, because these are things that are tried and true. The second thing that you're going to need to do to increase your soil microorganisms is you're going to need something like to add like vermicompost, worm castings, worm tea. You can even go and get organics, which is nothing but a mixture of biology. You can put mushroom compost down. Those kind of things are going to bring living organisms to your soil to help fire off and wake your dirt up, okay? Because right now you probably have dirt. What you want is living soil, all right? So you're going to have to help it along, guys. You're going to have to nurture it. The third thing you're going to want to do is get a good compost. Like I said, a mushroom compost. Here at Starkey Farmstead, we compost directly in our chicken coop. In that chicken coop, you will also find quail and rabbits. So what's happening is I've got a lot of great manures going back into a lot of organic material that I am turning, that the chickens are turning, and it is amazing compost. And that is what I use. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to do, guys, is plant variety. Okay? What do I mean? Literally plant varieties, and you want a lot of varieties of plants. So you're going to need to get out there. You need a companion plant. You need to put your herbs in. Get you some perennial flowers going on the edges of your garden. For us, it'd be really hard to put perennials out here when I'm going to have to tarp it and terminate cover crops. But along the edges or in 2-foot strips between each one of these sections, I can dedicate a perennial bed where the root systems stay year-round, where the plants are never disturbed, and where my good beneficial insects can actually overwinter. So these are the things that you're really going to want to do. Now, the fourth thing that you can do is cover crop, okay? Cover cropping is so important. But like I told you guys, I'm brand new at this, and cover cropping just felt like it was like, whoa, what in the world? So we have a video out on that. If you'd like to watch it, feel free, but I'm not going to go any further than the cover crops. Just do it. The next thing you're going to want to do, number 5, no dig or no till. Stop disturbing your soil aggregate. Stop killing your earthworms with your tillers. I will never forget, I once asked my husband, what happens if an earthworm gets cut in two if you till? My husband told me, then you get 2 earthworms. And guess who believed that for a couple of years until I began to garden? Me. Now, I know it sounds simple, but a lot of us can't think through. I mean, part of me was like, well, if you cut an earthworm in two, I mean, can it live? Is there 2 of them? No. You're destroying your soil when you throw that tiller in there. Now, I know some of you are going to get really angry with me right now. You're going to cut this video off. You're going to be like, that is so stupid. You cannot be people no-till. Guys, continue to watch. I'm fixing to share some other things that happened when they pulled my undies out of the soil, because we do work with the USDA and NRCS in a 3-year soil health program under an umbrella nonprofit called Campty Field of Dreams here in Southeast Louisiana. And I'm telling you guys, they are training us for this, and I have soil test proof, documentation to prove to you what I'm telling you, that no-till cannot be beaten. Now, the very next things, number 6, no asides. You heard me. No more pesticides. No more fungicides. No more herbicides. Stop killing everything. Now, the rest of you that hung in this for, because I probably lost a few more viewers right there. A lot of people, you cannot garden without pesticides. I've heard it all the time. I'm in Southeast Louisiana. I'm willing to say maybe Florida. Florida might possibly be more buggy than Louisiana. But guys, until you come down here on a good, moist, wet, humid summer in Southeast Louisiana, I'm going to tell you right now, you have never seen bugs like what we grow down here. The Gulf of Mexico, we have the Mississippi River running right through us. There's water everywhere. And we produce the most ginormous bugs you have ever seen. every variety of pest that is out there, but we also produce amazing beneficial bugs. And if you are spraying asides, let me tell you what aside means. It means to kill. So asides mean to kill, okay? You don't want to kill the microorganisms in your soil. And if you are spraying anything, even on the leaves and the stem, guys, it drips down into your soil. I know it goes against everything you've been taught. I know it does. I know it does. Till the soil, fill it full of 13, 13, 13. You want your ground bare, brown, and beautiful, and baking in the sun. And you want to dump water on it 3 times a day. Sweet Lord, help us. And this is why the world has a food crisis problem right now, worldwide. We can do better than this. We are human. We had the capacity to think, to feel, and to steward. So come on, guys. We can do better than this. Stop tilling. Stop it. Cover your soil. Get some microorganisms back into that soil. Keep it moist. Keep it covered. You're going to find that you don't need to water. I have videos out. Go back and look at them. Louisiana hit 112 degrees this year. We were in a 1-month drought. We had not had water. That garden had only been watered 4 times in that entire period. That is tremendous. That is tremendous. Documented everything. Go back. We can prove it. No tilling with deep mulch, lots of microorganisms. Your plants are going to put in really deep roots, and they are going to be able to withstand watering issues, irrigation issues. Now, the last thing I want to share with you guys. In July, they did a PSI, or a soil compaction test, on my garden. She went down 18 inches, and she had 150 PSI. That's as good as it got. We redid that soil test a couple of days ago in November. Same spot. She went 18 inches, and she got a 300 PSI. That is amazing. That was done in 4.5 months of no-till on hard-packed red clay in southeast Louisiana. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm only 7.5 months into my journey with gardening ever in my entire life, and I am producing more food than I literally know what to do with. I'm learning how to feed my animals out of my garden. I'm learning to do all of this with no purchased inputs, guys. Our overhead for 100 animals and a 1/4 acre market garden on 2 acres is almost nothing. So row in our boat. Let us row in yours. Let's do this together. Let's reinvent how to grow food. Let's raise our kids and grandkids on soil and dirt that we didn't fill with poison. There's a pond right there. My yard is on an incline. So every single time it rains, all the water from my neighbors pours into my into my garden and directly into my pond. Guess what? When it goes through my garden and pours into my pond, it's like crystal clear. It picks up no dirt. I have no soil erosion. That is absolutely amazing. And I want that for you. I want you to be able to stand by your pond or stream near your property or even by your ditch and watch the water go through your garden and come out clear. And the day that you can do that, I'm going to be high-fiving with you because I am rowing in your boat. And if you've watched this video this far, you want the same things. You want clean, nutrient-dense, healthy food while you steward the earth, making your footprints less. Let's leave it in better shape than we found it, guys. Because I'm telling you, the chemicals that you're probably dumping on your garden are war chemicals left over from World War I and World War II. They didn't know what to do with all these deadly chemicals. So they turned them into gardening. They turned them into chemicals for the garden. And we just purchased it. Like we became consumers. Today I want you to say this. I am a producer, not a consumer. That's your goal. Produce your own worm castings. We'll show you how to do it. Produce your own compost. We'll teach you how. Make your own biochar. Learning that too. Guys, I'm telling you, one of the biggest myths that I was raised thinking was farmers were simple. And I don't mean to offend anybody, because my dad was raised on a sharecropping farm and my grandparents could not read or write. So I'm not talking ignorant, simple. Like they just lived this lollygog, like, you know, sit on a tractor, feed the cows. Like, that's how the world makes you want to think. We are the most inventive, problem-solving, overcomers in the entire world. Can I get an amen? So let's do this, people. Let's leave this soil in better shape than how we found it. And let's let our grandkids and our great-grandkids run through their inheritance with joy and happiness. You guys have a blessed day. Thank you for watching Starkey Farmstead. Please like, comment, and subscribe.